Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Charles Onyekolo. Now, the governors of Nigeria's 36 states have agreed to ban interstate movement for 2 weeks in an effort to curb the spread of the new coronavirus. Lagos and Ogun states, as well as Nigeria's capital Abuja, are already under federally imposed lockdowns, while various states have instigated their own containment measures. The governors unanimously agreed that only essential services will be permitted. Correspondents say that only President Buhari can impose a total cessation of interstate movement. However, individual states can block entry points, and Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ebonyi and Abia have all used barriers to stop people from entering their states. Nigeria has so far reported nearly 900 confirmed coronavirus cases and some 28 deaths from the virus, and that is obviously changing by the day. By the minute, in fact. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the Abuja editor of this day newspaper, Iyobosa Uwugira. And thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Good evening.
And you're clearly staying safe.
Yeah.
And you're at a safe distance from me.
Absolutely.
Give us more details of this interstate travel ban by Nigeria's governors and when it's expected to come into effect, or has it already come into effect?
Well, before now, some states were already implementing that.
But that's within their states.
Within their state.
Yeah.
But not just.
And also, yeah.
There was a interstate.
They blocked people from coming in.
For example, Delta, Edo, and some other states like that, like River State, banning people from coming to River State and all that. So there were different decisions before now. But just yesterday, the governors met. And they agreed that there is urgent need for them to lock down the country totally for about 2 weeks and see how they can contain the spread of this COVID-19. For me, I think that decision is coming a little bit late. I expected them to take that decision before now, because for Abuja, Lagos, and Ogun, we're almost, entering the fourth week of lockdown. I'm sure you know the negative impact of that decision taken by the
But
state.
just correct me if I'm wrong. The impression I got is that some measures were already in place within the states. But what we're talking about now is a complete ban of interstate travel.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm dragging to.
Okay, right.
Because I thought before now they should have taken that decision in order to contain the spread. But now, if you are going to do that across the country, and I'm sure Abuja, Lagos, and Ogun State will also be part of that decision. It means that you are taking Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja for another 2 weeks after 4 weeks. I don't know how they're going to manage that, because as I speak to you, there's already protests from different states. It's already creating it's already instigating criminal activities in some states. Some people are also resisting it. I mean, the argument is that yes, we are ready to make that sacrifice in order to contain the spread. But what is the government? What is the state government? What is the local government doing within that period? How will you keep people at home for about 6 weeks and without providing for them?
But isn't that almost impossible to answer that question, given the challenges that Nigeria faces and the fact that the government basically, and it's not the fault of this particular government, it's a historical thing. They don't have the right statistics, they don't have a correct census, they don't know where people are, they don't know how to reach a lot of people, there are communication problems all around the place. So it's a matter of, what do we do? Do we decide that, no, we're going to leave the country open because there are lots of people that we don't know where they are or what they do? Or are we going to take the decision to shut the country down to try and prevent the spread of COVID-19?
Well, for now, locking down the states might appear to be the right thing to do. I'm not opposed to that. But what I am saying is that we need to provide more palliative to Nigerians who want to who are staying at home. Because whether we like it or not, there are many people out there, if they don't go out one day, they will not be able to field. Some states are already, introducing propaganda into it. Some states will tell you that in the last 2 or 3 weeks, they spent 1 billion naira in order to provide palliatives for the people.
Now, of course, that's a political statement.
A political statement, for example,
right.
they are still talking as if they are campaigning. For example, in Edo State, you said you have spent over 1 billion naira for palliatives in Edo State. Now, if you spend 1 billion naira, I am sure, Chucks, that the people
will feel
the impact of that 1 billion naira. Already, the Kano State government is asking for 15 billion naira, claiming that they have spent over 1 billion naira in the last few weeks. In Abuja, for example, government officials went there one day, and within a few hours, they told us that they have kind of give out about 1 billion naira. Now, even if you are counting the money with machine, I doubt, Charles, whether you'll be able to count 1 billion naira in 5 days, not to talk of.
So this is clearly having a big economic impact.
Exactly. So the point I'm making is that if the government, the local government, the federal government want to reach out to the people in order to sustain this lockdown, they know what to do. They can do it. But the way some of them are talking, they are still talking as if they are campaigning, making promises without backing up.
That's an interesting point, because we had this chap who was here yesterday who goes out into the community, he does charity work, and he was saying that when it comes to political campaigns, these politicians know how to distribute food to all the people. So why is it that they can't do it now?
Why is it difficult now? But you see, the truth of the matter is that unless something is done, it will be, even when the government want to make use of all the security agencies to make sure that people stay at home for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be very difficult. I'm sure Nigerians will react. Because it's like dragging their patient for.
So given what you're saying, do you think that the federal government, for the federally locked down areas, where it's already in place, Lagos, Ogun, Abuja, is that likely to be extended again, given the mood in those places?
I think so, because that was the unanimous decision by the 36 state governors yesterday, including I'm sure the FCT is also part of that. Now, if the governors, agree that they will lock down their state for the next 2 weeks, it means that decision will be implemented. Yeah, but I think the president, they will have to run that with the president,
right?
Because who is already getting all the security report across the country on what is happening, so that at the end of the day, rather than trying to solve the problem, you are creating another huge problem. I'm talking of security and social problem across the country that might be very difficult for us to manage. So we need to be very careful.
Right. Is there a lot of formal interstate trade in Nigeria? I'm just wondering how this will affect because in America and places like that, different parts of the world, even different parts of Africa, you have trade between states. This state produces this, the other one produces that, and there's a lot of formal trade. Do you have that in this country, or is it mostly informal
for example,
trade?
For example, if you look at it, some of the essential commodities that we consume in some part of the country are moved from one part of the country to another. For example, talk about onions, talk about tomatoes.
Because they talk about bread baskets and so on, right?
So for them, for you to be able to get this thing to buy in the southern part of the country, there must be movement from the northern part of the country to the south.
Right. Okay.
Now, also look at Abuja and Nasarawa State, for example. Many of people who worked in Abuja stays in Nasarawa. So there's that interstate trade between the two states. So locking Nasarawa and Abuja, for example, for me, it will create a huge problem. But I want to believe that the state government and the federal government have very good strategies on how to manage that.
We've got less than a minute. There have been a number of unexplained deaths recorded in Kano State in the north. There's been talk that it's linked to a fake vaccine that's circulating in the state. What's the latest on that? We've got about 20 seconds.
But I don't think what is happening, I don't think the so-called fake vaccines is responsible. I think the federal government and the state government, they are addressing the issue.
They're investigating.
The DG of the NCDC was there yesterday for a fact-finding missions. He's back to Abuja. I'm sure he must have briefed the president on what is happening there. And during the interactive session with media today, they also explained what the state government and what the federal government is doing in order to get to the root of the matters. I'm sure in the next 24 hours, it will be clearer for us.
Iyobosa, you're a champion. Thank you very much indeed. And stay safe. Iyobosa Uwogiran, the Abuja editor of this day newspaper. That's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.